Oh, yeah.
Okay, kids, let's do it. Let's do it. It's time for Work That Wednesday. It's a theme.
Workout Wednesday?
No, Work That Wednesday.
Oh, work that.
Oh, work it. That's right.
I can't with
Love
y'all. Hey guys,
guys.
this is The Jam. I'm Felicia Lawrence, John Hanson, Amy Rutledge. Amy, take it away.
Yeah, because I want to start with some good news tonight. So sorry, I'm a little overexcited because this means a lot to a lot of kids across the Chicagoland area and Northern Illinois, I should say. Sports may be coming back sooner than we thought. The IHSA released a new calendar late today for any COVID region in phase 4. Now, let's just specify we are not in phase 4. None of the regions in Northern Illinois are yet, but they could be coming soon. So what that means is basketball will start immediately when a region hits phase 4 and go through mid-March. Football will start in early March, run through the end of spring. And right now, spring sports, baseball, softball, track, all look to be on track to have a normal season in early April. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, good news. This is great news. So we have talked about this is far beyond, okay, just playing a sport that you like and enjoy. That's awesome, right? But we've always talked about these kids' futures and how they need to be playing right now, particularly if you're a junior or senior, so that you could set yourself up for a better future. And I imagine it's been so difficult to sit back and watch your competitors in other states and surrounding counties. Well, it's IHSA, but other states go out for these positions at these colleges and these institutions where they would like to be able to play. So now they can jump back in and be in that competition.
Yeah, just good for the mental health too. There's been I don't want to say a rise in because the there's still statistics that are coming in, but there's been some notable unfortunate suicides in the suburbs and a lot of parents.
Severe rise, John. It's up.
Okay,
it is up.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
For sure. And a lot of people attribute it to kids maybe not having the connection they have through teams, through their friendship groups. And I can totally get that. I mean, imagine being a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old. Your life is your friends and who you get to hang out with. And if your life is the sport you play, to miss that for a long period of time makes a huge difference. So just to be able to gather again and be together is going to be a big thing. So that's great news.
Yeah, and the trickle-down effect, too, because my kids obviously are young, so that doesn't really affect them. But other sports activities in and around the region, these chapters and stuff, they follow suit of IHSA. So if IHSA is going to do it, they're going to do it, too. So it really opens up the gamut for kids of all ages. Because Henry did the soccer camp this summer, and it was not a soccer camp because they couldn't really. They just ran drills. But he didn't actually have any interaction, like doing the game, because obviously they couldn't. But they followed IHSA rules, which makes sense. So this is great for kids of all ages, really.
Great for parents, too. Go play the sport, Jimmy.
Go run.
Get out of the house. Yeah. Go join the cross-country team and go run for 12 miles. Exactly. Come back tomorrow. Okay. Some sobering news coming out of the craziness that was 2020. The U.S. recording its sharpest spike in the poverty levels since the 1960s. Economists from the University of Chicago and the University of Notre Dame were behind the study. They attribute the spike to the pandemic and the sputtering economy.
We think what we're looking at is changes due to the pandemic. We could see, using the measure that we constructed, that poverty was going down at the beginning of the year and then actually fell very quickly early in the year when the government was paying out enormous sums for stimulus payments and expanded unemployment insurance. It was only when those benefits stopped that we saw poverty rising very sharply in the second half of last year.
When we talk about the disparity between Black and white Americans, there was a very large gap over the summer, and your study noted that lessened a little bit, but still, Blacks 2 times more likely than whites to be under that poverty level.
And in the last 6 months, when government assistance has been pretty meager, there has been a big widening of the gap between Blacks and whites. And the poverty rate for Blacks went up about 5%, 5 percentage points over that period.
And talking about the legislative things that can be done that actually impact lives, like a lot of people joke about stimulus. I can use a little extra money. No, the stimulus kept people out of poverty. A lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it went a long way when we actually got it. It was still a long way to go because what was it, $600? And then the one before, I guess the amounts vary depending on your need. But at the same time, it just wasn't really even enough to cover rent for a lot of people, too. We're talking about disparities that in the inequities that specifically impact a group of people, Black and Brown people. And if we're not leveling that playing field. Let me get the words out. If we're not leveling that playing field, we're definitely doing a disservice. I mean, no one's asking for special treatment. They're just asking for equality. And so when everyone has been impacted by this pandemic, but you have Black and Brown people who are already on the cusp of poverty, then imagine where that puts them during this time.
Well, and even we're talking about our schools too. Like our schools recently, within I think it was the last week, they got more stimulus funding from the government as well. And it was broken down by the poverty level based on the neighborhood that it's in. So it was fascinating to look at how much each school got across the state and across our region, because a lot of these kids depend on school for food. And now that's a whole other debate about getting the kids back to school. But, you know, this is a step in getting there, helping, you know, parents go back to work, helping feed some of these kids, and it's cyclical. So it's nice to see they get the money out there when they can.
I was also talking to Professor Meyer about minimum wage, because this is a debate that is currently happening right now with a proposal in the Senate yesterday to raise minimum wage to $15, what we have here in the city of Chicago, incrementally over time. And he said, yeah, those things have a drastic impact. You can see the change that happens when you raise the minimum wage on folks. There's a lot of people that say, oh, there's going to be a lot of jobs lost. And not saying there aren't not any that happen, but the overall, it is good for folks that are in poverty for minimum wages to go up. It was just an interesting conversation. Also, he did mention, I asked like what poverty looks like now versus what poverty looked like in the 60s. And one interesting point is that while the poverty rate continues to change, fluctuates a little bit up in the last year, what poverty means in America for most people is not what it used to be in the 60s, who didn't have running water, who often had less bedrooms. I mean, like, obviously, there's still a lot of people that are in real dire straits, don't get me wrong.
For sure.
But poverty has changed a lot in America because of some liberal progressive policies that have nudged that forward.
I can see that. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, here's some good news, okay? You know, inauguration poet laureate Amanda Gorman, everybody has been talking about her since she performed, right, at the inauguration. Well, now she can add model to her resume. The 22-year-old has signed with one of the world's biggest modeling agencies, IMG Models. You know, she's a Harvard graduate, and she's not done making history. She's also going to be the first ever poet to perform during the Super Bowl. Gorman is going to honor an educator, a nurse, and a veteran who served their community during the pandemic with a reading before the official coin toss. So how absolutely amazing. I mean, talk about a rocket, a shooting star to the moon. Absolutely amazing.
So cute.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, let's also just give a credit. We talked about sports at the top of this news cycle. We should talk about the arts in schools that they're still trying, you know, a lot of students that need the arts. Like, look, this will be no surprise. I'm a product of arts education entirely.
Your mother was an art teacher, too.
My mother was an art teacher. Now, I didn't do any of the drawing, painting art. I'm bad at that. But speaking and music and all those sorts of things. Speech team.
Running your mouth.
Running my mouth team. Yep. That's what we're
good at it.
Yeah, exactly. We need arts education in our schools. They've been cut, obviously, well before the pandemic. Teams are still struggling to get together, debate teams over Zoom and all that sort of stuff. So here is one shining example of what a great arts education will do.
Well, John's being all serious.
Not me, her. Sorry.
Yes. When John's being all serious, I am going to pivot because I find her absolutely adorable. I love the way her personality shines when she speaks. Like, she is a genuine person who seems to love life, and she's in a moment and she's living it, but she also seems to be doing it humbly, and such a great representation, such a great role model for other young girls out there. I watched her. She was on the Ellen Show recently talking about, you know, the behind the scenes, and she was by the Obamas and all that. And it was so cute because it was like a little, like, she got to hug Michelle Obama, and she's done it before, and she always wanted to redo because she thought it was bad. And, you know, Michelle Obama doesn't probably think anything this girl does is bad.
Yeah. And on that same note, Michelle Obama, she said, kept yelling at Barack to stop hugging people because obviously it's a pandemic. But you can imagine Uncle Barry would be out there hugging everyone because he's just a lovable guy. But cute little behind the scenes moment at the inauguration. But let me just say, I look up to this young lady, and she's younger than me. And it's just like in the age of Cardi B's and Meg the Stallions, who we love, you can be this too. You can be this too. And you want to be able to show your kids, your daughters, not just your daughters, your sons as well, that this exists, this is success, and this should be celebrated as well.
By the way, she shouldn't just do the poem after the coin toss. She should do the coin toss too. Heads or tails, never fails. We need heads. Something leads. I don't know. She'll do it. I'm just saying. I won't. But Amy, save me with the tease, please.
Okay, I'm just going to let you kind of hang yourself, but okay, let's keep moving on. Still ahead, a look at the efforts some lawmakers are making to changes in the status of our nation's capital. That is coming up. Plus, our first look at the star of a new film about Princess Diana. You do not want to miss it. The Jam will be right back. All right, news you need to know. A warning today from the Department of Homeland Security that domestic extremists could continue to mobilize or commit violence. The message from the National Terrorist Advisory System warned people, quote, fueled by false narratives about the election or COVID restrictions or a number of other things, could drive attacks like the one at the Capitol. We could see more of them, so they want people to be aware of this. This is not surprising. The chatter has not completely stopped. I believe they say that it stopped on a large portion of some of the social media platforms that are very popular, but doesn't mean they're gone. All right, there is now legislation in both the House and the Senate that could make Washington, D.C. our 51st state. Proponents say it would give D.C. residents full authority over local issues and argue a lack of fair representation in D.C. But the critics say it's just an effort to expand Democrats' interest in Capitol Hill and goes against the 23rd Amendment, which allows residents of D.C. to vote for presidential electors. You think about the Capitol riots and how confusing it got for police officers, the Capitol Police, because some are federal, some are local. It could have helped in that situation. Is this the smart thing to do?
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it necessarily could have helped in that situation, but I certainly want all Americans to be represented equally. Clearly, I'm thinking about Puerto Rico and all the issues that they're going through and not having representation. I feel like they're being slighted. Guam, add them in too. So I don't know if we can really say that that would have changed and made a huge difference. I mean, there are a lot of things that should have happened on that insurrection day, but
Well, I think what they're saying is that states have national guards. They don't, as a district. They have to ask the federal government for help. They have to ask the federal government to approve their budget, right? Like they can't so much as add a snowplow to their
They can't do
fleet without the
anything.
federal government. They can't do anything, right? The mayor has very limited powers. Let's not also ignore the fact that Democrats want to add DC as a state because that means they get 2 Democratic senators. I mean, DC is the most Democratic leading voting bloc in the entire country. Puerto Rico, not as much, not even close, really. But DC for sure, they want to push through, and I believe they're trying to use this as a justification for it. It can also be right. Like, I mean, they're right there, but they also are trying to do it to get 2 more Democratic senators in the Senate. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
All
That's
good.
right. We're having
Okay,
some
so
lag issues. You go on, Felicia. Save us, girl.
14 states are now proposing new anti-LGBTQ bills. Most of the bills are affecting transgender youth. We're talking states like Alabama, Oklahoma, Montana. Montana saying that making it more difficult, the bill that was passed could make it more difficult for transgender youth to participate in sports or to get the proper medical care that they need. So experts and LGBTQ advocacy groups are saying that it is highly unlikely that these bills would be passed, but it's still very detrimental to the cause and them trying to raise awareness of what's happening, especially when you have LGBTQ youth and transgender youth who are being killed because of their sexual orientation or how they identify. I think that makes sense.
I think a lot of people thought that when gay people got the right to marry, that everything was all settled and the LGBTQ cause was fine. But these local measures are, I don't want to say just as important, but equally important to some people as others, especially in the transgender community. And let's not forget, look, Joe Biden is a Democrat that was elected president. The Democrats won the Senate. They lost House seats and they lost a lot of state legislatures. Much of America has Republican-led legislatures that are conservative leaning and that cannot wait to pass anti-LGBTQ things just to appease their right-wing base. Yes, not all of these measures are going to get through, but the fact that they're even being brought up is detrimental to the cause and needs to be addressed.
What was that? I heard like
did
drums
someone have
falling.
cymbals? Yeah, Felicia, you got is Teddy playing drums in the background? Did he drop something back there?
Oh, you hear noise? No, he's feeding the dog. He's feeding the dog, and he has to mix his food up like Garrett's popcorn because he's on a new diet.
Funny.
So he's shaking
like
it like a popcorn bag.
I
was like, "What's the matter? What are you guys hearing?" So sorry.
I thought he was just
you
giving
gotta
me
be
some
quiet.
symbol. Yeah, I thought he was giving me some symbols love for my stance there on LGBTQ issues. So yeah, exactly. All right, we're gonna gather our thoughts and come back really clean and fresh in just after this. All right, welcome back, everyone. Chicago Food to Go is one of our shows that highlights the best restaurants around our area. It is a blast to host and even better to enjoy these restaurants. We got a very special treat for you. We're doing the first ever Chicago Food to Go Top Choice Awards. To vote, you just need to pick one of the 3 nominees in each of the 7 categories. We got a lot of fun categories, different types of cuisine, that sort of stuff. But today we're highlighting our top suburban restaurants. Got to give love to the suburbs, too, of course. A lot of great restaurants out there. So we've gotten it down to 3 restaurants. First up, we got Austin's. It's in Libertyville. It provides great family ambiance. Ohana Ice and Treats, which is so good. I think we showed them here on the show, and we were all just gawking over the ice cream, the sundaes, the milkshakes, everything they got. And Shaku, which is really great. It's got sushi, some other Asian-inspired plates. They're actually all over the suburbs. They're in Libertyville, Barrington, Park Ridge, and Arlington Heights, I believe. So kind of northwest side as well. So those are our top 3 choices. This is really simple. You go online to cw26chicago.com. You vote. You can vote once every single day until Valentine's Day. So if you really love a place, show them the love every single day. And we'll be showing the results in a couple of weeks on a real special show. I know you guys are thinking of yours.
Yeah, because Amy and I have already made reservations for Austin's. We need some of those chicken and steak fajitas. My goodness, that food looks good.
Well, it's funny. Out of those 3 restaurants, so my sister took me to Shaku for my birthday in Libertyville, and then Austin's was probably the last place I ate outside. It was a little bit nicer out with my dad, and maybe like a month ago. Austin's is great. They have a great music venue there too, so huge menu, lots of opportunities to do things. So now I need to go try the other one because the sundae with brownies underneath it. Oh my god,
girl. Look,
yes.
I'm a host of the show, so I'm not going to be. I got to stay impartial. So I'm voting for all 3. That's all I'm saying. One every single day.
Well, let's just go to all 3.
Yeah, right. We'll be back.
All right, everybody. We are getting our first look at Kristen Stewart as Princess Diana. Wow. This is for the movie Spencer, which is about the holiday weekend Diana spent with the royal family when she made the decision to end their marriage. It premieres this fall. All y'all got thoughts. I know, because I have a ton.
Girl.
I don't know. She looked the part for sure, but like Emma Corrin on The Crown killed it so much. I can only focus on one Princess Diana story a year. So I'm sorry, Kristen Stewart. I ain't going to watch this.
Do you even know who that is, John?
No. Who is she?
Well, Amy,
she sounds familiar.
You said she looks like Camilla.
She looks like Camilla. By the way, the hair with the feather, like on the side, that looks more Camilla than it looks Diana. I can't want to say Diana.
Oh, so Prince Charles's dream.
Yes.
little Diana, little Camilla, yeah.
And I am not happy with this. at all.
I'm not a huge Kristen Stewart fan. You know, if she is just not, I love the series Twilight. So I
Me
can
too.
only see her with werewolves and vampires. If she's not doing that, I don't want to see her.
Hey, look, the royal family's got the werewolves and vampires in them, so maybe that's who's
like I feel like that Diana deserved a bigger person, and no shade on Kristen Stewart. She's not my favorite, but no shade on her. It just feels like that needed to be an elevated actress because it's such a large piece of pop culture. I mean, everyone followed the royals because largely of Princess Diana, whether or not you agree with me. But that's how Americans got interested in the royal family, back in the day. So they're killing the fairy tale.
If Nicole Kidman can play Lucille Ball, maybe she could have gone 20 more years younger and played Princess Diana.
See, I prefer new face because any other bigger name that is maybe more respectable, their face is going to be too big and too recognizable, and they might not be a good fit for the role. I think I prefer a new face to welcome in with this one. But Kristen Stewart, I guess I kind of also see her as a teeny bopper, and she's nowhere near a teen. But I just can't get her out of the Twilight role. I can't get her out of Twilight.
Is she in SNL?
You typecasted her.
Is she the crazy one in SNL or no? That's not her. That's Kristen Wiig. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. What are you talking about?
I have no idea who these people are.
John,
what's next?
Stick to history and politics.
Oh my gosh.
Halsey surprised fans with a pregnancy announcement today. The 26-year-old singer is expecting her first child. She tagged screenwriter Alev Aiden over her belly, and they've been dating low-key for several months. Halsey has spoken openly about how much she wants to be a mom as she suffered a miscarriage on tour when she was 21 years old. And don't they call this a rainbow baby, Amy,
yep.
after you have had a miscarriage and now you're pregnant? So congratulations to her.
Yes, that's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to say. She's young. I can't imagine having kids young. My twins are my rainbow babies, and I can't imagine actually having them when I was that age where I could barely keep myself together. So
yeah. I was Googling who she was. So.
Okay, everybody. Today is Women Crush Wednesday, where John just crushes on us for the next 30 minutes. So you have tuned in at the right time.
Ain't hard to do that. Amy, your hair looks spectacular tonight. I like those open shoulders. You can give me a cold shoulder with each of them. And Felicia, girl, the hair is a little bit flatter tonight. It looks good, like poofy out to the side. Boom, boom, boom. Those hoops, the bigger the hoop.
The bigger the
hoop.
Okay. Let's get going.
All right. I'll save you, John. Virtual town hall, Chicago at 60. It is set for next week to address the surge in carjackings. Alderman Michelle Smith and Tom Tunney will host, along with law enforcement and Cook County officials. Chicago, by the way, has seen more than 135% increase in carjackings over the last year.
That's no good.
I mean, I'm tired of talking about it, but this is a really big issue. This is huge. I mean, people are afraid to go and run, to take the streets, to go do their normal everyday life. This is a big issue.
The alderman in Englewood was even crediting his community for coming together to try and prevent these things. And it's like, that really shouldn't be our job, but sometimes it takes everyone to watch out for each other to stop these things from happening.
Well, and I kind of wish that they would release like an edict, for lack of a better word, of things that you should do when you're carjacked, so that it's out there for the people to grasp onto, like, this is what you do, A, B, and C, but also so that the carjackers know that a lot of people are going to do these things and leave them alone and don't hurt them, right?
Yeah, see, it's young kids. It's young kids that are doing all this carjacking, which is the most unfortunate thing, because here we are messing up. They're messing up their future too. I mean, and I know know a couple people that were carjacked, and they were like, I was afraid to do anything because it was a little boy. It was somebody who looks like they're 10, 12, 15, 16 years old. But I mean, safety is number one, you guys. Let the car go. You want to make sure you come home safe. That's the most important thing. Okay, Fleet Fields at Lincoln Yards is being transformed. Health officials are hosting free COVID and HIV testing there this Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They'll also be handing out free masks and PPE. So good that they're getting some of that health care that's needed to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, WNBA star Candace Parker is heading home to join the Chicago Sky. She's a legend. Of course, not only in the WNBA, but she went to Naperville Central High School. We're about the same age. And she just wrecked women's hoops in high school and beyond.
In a good way.
No, I mean, like, everyone else like bowed before her. The two-time MVP free agent says she isn't re-signing with the Los Angeles Sparks, where she's played. Free agents can start signing with the team Monday. But that's awesome. Coming back. Oh.
Yes, come on home, sis. She said she wanted to be able to play with her friends and for her family. She's 34 now, so she's had an incredible career. And we know that athletes' careers sometimes are usually shorter than they would like them to be. So she's trying to finish out the last few years with her friends and family where it all started. Really cool.
Yeah. Really cool, because you think about, like, if she's home and that happens and they like have a good couple seasons or season where it could launch her in terms of ad dollars and all that kind of stuff. Super smart on her part.
Felicia, why weren't you as good as Candace Parker?
So it's so funny that you said that. Yeah, that's a good answer, Amy. No, so ninth grade basketball, they tried to do before and after school practices. And I was like, you want me to get here at 5 a.m.? Oh, honey, no, I needed my beauty sleep.
That makes sense.
So beauty sleep got in the way of ninth grade basketball.
And it worked. You look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you.
All right, the Biden administration is keeping an eye on GameStop, the video game store, as its stock continues to soar, thanks to some newly wealthy internet trolls. As a revenge to stock hedge managers, Reddit users have swarmed GameStop and other stocks to artificially raise the price. How? It's a bit complicated. As you probably know from watching the show, John can figure it out for you.
I have props. Okay, so here is what is happening with GameStop. So here's what's happening. It's called short selling. So let's say you got two banana stocks. They're each worth $10. And I'm someone that says, these bananas are not worth $10. I think they're going to be worth less. So you're actually betting that they're going to go down. So you actually borrow the stock from someone else for $10 each, right? And you then say, I'm going to sell them to two people at $10 each. So Felicia gets one and Amy gets one. And you're hoping then that the stock goes down. And then when you agree to buy it back, it's only like $7. And you keep the profit and you give it back to this guy for $7 and you just made $3 a banana. Well, People don't like that practice. A lot of times hedge managers, there's really rich people, can artificially move the market one way or the other, and they try and put levers one way or another just because they want stock prices to go down, which of course is not what we all want. So these nerds went on and they are buying all the bananas, right? Seriously.
So you
and
can't
the bananas
sell off my bananas for cheap.
For $10 are now going for $380 a piece. So the company that is obligated to buy them back, bought them for 10, now has to buy them all back for 380. You're talking about a $13 billion hedge fund that went away in a day.
Amazing.
Are these organic bananas or regular ones?
Well, they're $10, so they're clearly from Whole Foods. So.
They've got to be organic.
But that's the best I can do, because it's really confusing what a short sell is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know, it's crazy. But it basically screwed everyone up. I bought a share today, for the record, and it has immediately plummeted. I was just trying to play around with it, have some fun. I bought it the wrong time, but it's just one little share. And we'll see if I'm back here tomorrow. I mean, if it goes way higher, y'all are going to see me. I didn't win Mega Millions or Powerball, so I really wanted this thing. So. All right, let's move on.
Today, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists leaves the Doomsday Clock unchanged. It is 100 seconds to midnight.
100 seconds till midnight is the Doomsday Clock. And Daniel Bowles is on that team and a University of Chicago professor. So, professor, on the one, oh my God, that background's amazing, first and foremost. Okay, I had to pause and say that. All right, so Professor Bowles, obviously this is like, it's not good news that we're 100 seconds to midnight, but at least it didn't move closer to midnight. Should I feel good about that at all?
Yeah. So first, it's Holz, H-O-L-Z, and the background is my day job, which is I'm an astrophysicist, and this is black holes colliding, emitting gravitational waves, an artist's conception. But yes, to answer your question, we should be relieved that it's not moving forward, and it has been moving forward for the last few years. And this is, this year it's the same as last year at 100 seconds to midnight. However, the bad news is this is the closest we've ever been to midnight, which in the way we think about this, midnight is the apocalypse. So what we're saying is, in our judgment, this is the closest civilization has ever been to the apocalypse.
So our Earth continues to warm. Global warming is on the horizon as a threat. Terrorism ain't going away. Nuclear bombs continue to become more powerful. So what kept it at 100 seconds till midnight?
Yeah, so all these things are getting worse, exactly as you said. One of the other things we point out is that just the notion of information and what's true and sort of rational discourse seems to be under threat and is being undermined. And so all these things combine to make things more and more dangerous. On the flip side, there have been some, very recent developments. For example, the Biden administration just put us back in the Paris Agreement, and we are now, they're talking about rejoining New START or extending New START, which is an arms control treaty with Russia. These things make a big difference towards the future. And so these are kind of hopeful signs. Also, I think overall, there's much more of an awareness that climate change is an existential issue, is something that has to be addressed worldwide. It's becoming increasingly clear. It's no longer as much a political issue as just an issue for all of humanity. And these are hopeful signs.
Since the start of the Doomsday Clock, have we ever moved it back, or have we only moved it closer?
No, so it actually started way back in 1945, and actually at the University of Chicago, here in Chicago. And since then it's bounced around. It started at 7 minutes to midnight, and then it got closer during the Cold War. And then at the end of the Cold War, it went as far back as 17 minutes to midnight. When it seemed like nuclear annihilation wasn't going to happen, and it was before there was still plenty of time to deal with climate change. But unfortunately, more recently, we've been inching our way forward, and now here we are, much too close to midnight.
Did pandemic play a role in considerations of moving it closer and response to future pandemics, perhaps?
Yeah, so great question. Yeah, so the pandemic is clearly, it's this terrible thing, and it, we don't think of it as something that might end civilization. From what we can tell, I mean, it's awful, but it won't end the world as we know it. However, looking at what's happened with the pandemic over the last year, and the governments competing, questioning science, the pandemic is something where some basic things like masks and social distancing can go a long way to mitigating the effects. And yet we couldn't even as a society do those basic things. It doesn't give much, hope. It's kind of a test case. And you could say we're probably not passing that test so far.
Yeah. I feel both inspired and not hopeful at all, Professor Holz. I guess that's a call to action for all of us. Thanks so much for joining us and explaining it. We appreciate your time. And let's get the information up on the screen where people can follow more about what the Doomsday Clock is and all the really cool data they have to explain their decisions. Felicia.
Okay, well, we've got one of Hollywood's hottest trainers telling us how to get fit like the stars. We've got her tips after the break. Our next guest has helped celebrities like Jessica Alba, Dakota Johnson, and Anne Hathaway stay in shape for years. Celebrity trainer Ramona Braganza is giving us the inside scoop on exercises we should be doing. Oh, Amy and I are so excited for this segment because we're going to be taking plenty of notes.
So you did some mobile truck training for a lot of celebrities before the pandemic, obviously. Is that correct?
Yes, I have a 52-foot fitness trailer, and it's used on a lot of shows. So the last show it worked on was 50 Shades of Grey with Dakota and Jamie. They both trained inside it. It makes it really, well, even now, especially, it's a very safe environment and very private, and it can come to them. It's like bringing the gym to them. So.
Love that. You've trained some pretty big celebrities, and I know Jessica Alba being one of them. She has the best abs. What do you do for those abs?
Well, especially when you're in your home, if you want to do something that's really friendly for your home, you can use paper plates. It's all about your core, right? It's about your transverse, this muscle that pulls in your waist. So she has a tiny waist. She has broader shoulders. So what I've done is you can actually get onto your hands. So now you're working your upper body and you're just using your plate. Try to do this for 20 seconds. Then take a break for 10 and repeat it 5 times. You will feel this all through your transverse.
It's kind of like an ab dolly.
So, you know, you don't have to spend any money. Just get some paper plates and kick it up. You know, it's all about, like, she also has a long torso, which really visually is very attractive. But you do want to do the definition. And so that one will add your obliques and your transfers. So you start looking really cut.
Yes. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Anne Hathaway, she is another favorite of ours, and you work with her during the Oscars, and you trained her for the Oscars. Tell us more.
It was quite funny. I was called to her house the morning of the Oscars to do a workout for her arms because they were going to show in the dress. And so really we did something like, I mean, you can use water bottles. It's super great. You can hydrate after. But I called the 777. This is a traditional bodybuilding move. So 7 times up and down, come up, squeeze, and out 7 times. So this is like hugging a tree. And then right away do lat raises. And you want to pour the water out of the container. That gives you a little extra cut.
Oh.
Wait, so if you do something like if you have an event and you do a specific workout that day, it helps your muscles look better that day even?
I think, you know, it's also a psychological thing. I think a lot of the actors I worked with like to pump up before they get on camera and take their shirts off or whatever. I worked with Bradley Cooper on the A-Team, and he, you know, he does push-ups before. Everybody kind of wants to look and feel good. So it's more a connection with your body when you go on camera or on the red carpet.
Amy and I love Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I do.
We're going to say that about every celebrity she's ever with.
And so I know that Sandra Bullock, you know, she is a middle-aged woman, let's call her, and I am myself as well. So what do you do for celebrities like that to keep, she's so fit and so thin, and I worry as I get older, it's going to be harder to attain.
You know what, you have to continue to lift heavier weights. It's not a joke about, okay, I'm this age now, I got to lift lighter. So in the home, what do you find for a heavy weight? So I found this really great water container. And if you think about it, a lot of the actresses have really good posture and their shoulders are nice and square. Their back is strong. So I've been using this during this pandemic to do my rows because it really is a heavier feeling, but that's keeping the muscle from atrophying. You want to keep your body strong. So I continue to say to people, especially women, strength training is going to keep you fit longer. My mom is 85, teaches fitness, and she could lift over her head 20-pound dumbbells when she was 70. So
that's amazing.
Thank you, Ramona.
On workout and nutrition tips, you can always follow Ramona on Instagram and her website, ramonabraganza.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to get inches of snow this weekend. We need more time at the end. That's a good 7-dayer to throw up.
I'm going back to Well, Nancy Drew's second season premiere picked up right where the CW drama's first season left off, with Horseshoe Bay's amateur sleuth reeling from the news that her parents were not her birth parents. It's news actress Kennedy McMann wasn't even prepared for herself.
Everything I thought I knew about my life had been a lie. I have no idea who I am anymore, and now...
I think the first thing, it made me sad because I love Scott Wolf so much, and I was like, well, Scott, we just don't have this connection anymore, I guess. But no, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great. And when we were filming the pilot, there was this like matching shot we were doing of Lucy going down falling off the cliff, and then Nancy spinning in the graveyard during her, like, when she became the Sea Queen. And I remember thinking, I was like, there's gotta be something to this. There's gotta be something to this, because nobody told me at first. And so it was really fun to try and piece together.
Well, you can watch Nancy and the Drew crew solve the most important mystery of their lives tonight at 8 p.m. on CW26 Chicago.
Hey, Chicago. All right, let's face it. It's been a rough couple of months. Actually, way longer than that. But when you really think about it, we don't have it that bad. There are so many people in our community who are struggling to make ends meet, who may have lost their job in the pandemic, and they can't even put food on the table or have a good meal every night. So that's where we come in with Let's Feed Chicago. We're teaming up with CW26, WCIU, MeTVFM, and Being Legal to donate to the Greater Chicago Food Depository and make a difference in our community and these people's lives. So all you have to do, it is so easy that I'm gonna do it with you right now. Pull out your phone, text 41444, and send the message CW26. And just like that, you get a message back. The link brings you right to the site where you can donate, and it's that simple. Okay, guys, come together. We are trying to reach a goal of $15,000, and we need your help to get it there. So let's feed Chicago and give back and make it a great year.
Well, it's been a great show, but how do we eclipse it? With some moon news.
Eclipse it.
You get what I did there? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
what
it
do you
didn't
call
really make
a moon?
sense.
Well, okay. Well, never mind. I won't tell the second joke then. A crew of, this isn't even to the moon. This is just like into outer space. A crew of private astronauts are going to spend a week on the space station for a cost of $55 million each. So these are private astronauts. These are private folks buying for a ticket next week. The cost is $55 million. It's the Axiom Space Company, which sounds like what the villain owns in James Bond movies. Like, I own the Axiom Space Company or something. And these jokes are not landing.
Gosh,
but,
what happened?
Yes.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
Yeah.
Hate it.
Especially when I actually wrote it in the script. That's when you know I actually thought the joke was good because I didn't want to forget it. But anyways, NASA astronauts are going to lead this mission. So Amy, would you, let's say it was free, would you go to the space station?
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because I feel like that, well, I just feel like that's an opportunity in life that you will never get again. And I don't know, certain things come up in life you just can't say no to. I'd like to say yes 99% of the time. That's kind of my plan. Yeah.
Felicia?
Okay. They're saying a former NASA astronaut. That doesn't say that NASA is going to be the one that's putting this on. Like, I trust
they're not
NASA, and I trust, like, who are these people and what kind of disclosures do I have to sign?
They're you know, like American, Canadian, and Israeli going together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound safe to me. It just doesn't sound safe. Like, I want the NASA experience. I trust NASA.
Right. What do you think that this is, like some NASA astronaut who got like booted out of the program that is leading them up there or something? Or
you know, when you go when you go get on jet skis or something like that, and they have you sign your life away on vacation, and we never think about signing that. We just do it and go live our best life. That's not what this is. This is outer space, people.
Elon Musk and SpaceX, or British Virgin or Virgin America. Wait. You know what I'm talking about?
No. Okay, as awesome as Elon Musk is, which he's awesome, he's smart, he's a genius, I give it to him. All his projects blow up at least once. So no, I'm not going to be on that one either.
So did NASA's. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, there's mistakes that happen. It's never perfectly safe. But Felicia, I don't care. I'm with you on this side. I don't even like flying to Columbus, Ohio, let alone trying to get on to outer space.
Life by the cojones.
But what kind of insurance? You know, what kind of life insurance do you get to go to outer space? Like, my mom has to be taken care of.
Yeah. Hey, let's do one more moon story, and this one's going to make you howl. Moon news. Tonight and tomorrow is when the official full moon is, and the January full moon is called the wolf moon, and they think it's because wolves howl at the moon a lot in January. It's not really a special moon or anything. It's not like the second one of a month. It's not a blue moon or anything like that. They just call it the wolf moon.
The coyotes do that too, because I hear a lot of coyotes.
Yeah, the coyote moon too. You could try and rename it, Amy, if you coyotes are wolfish, sure.
Right. Okay.
Wolf cousins.
Cousins.
Hey, what do you call a moon that's out of orbit? No answer.
A lost moon? A lost moon.
A lunatic. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, that was better, Jen. You redeemed yourself.